How's it going, everybody? It feels like I haven't seen you in so long. I actually haven't done any readings in quite some time. Or I've done readings on the side, but no general readings. I was in a car accident last year that really kind of put me down for a while. I had to get surgery and all kinds of craziness, and so I've missed you guys, and I feel like I feel like, I haven't seen anybody for a very long time, and so I'm just super happy to be back in the swing of things. And with that in mind, I'm actually going to do things a little bit differently. I feel like, why not give you guys a whole well-rounded view of how the month's going to look. So the way I'm going to do things now is I'm going to give you just a very brief, understanding of the major things that are going on in the month. So the new moon, the full moon, and any kind of astrological events going on. And then I'm going to pull cards for love, health, and wealth. So you get a very well-rounded idea of the best things that you can do in a month for yourself to get the full benefit and to hopefully be able to use that energy and move forward. Hey Leos, well, it looks like you could be making some interesting decisions this month and saying no to some commitments that really don't kind of hold true to your values or go in line with your goals. So unfortunately, yeah, you could be making some decisions that really only are going with or committing to things that really only are in line with your ultimate goals and with where you're trying to go, and that nourish, the bigger and better qualities of things. And so it might be a little bit more than you're used to as far as having to say no to some of those commitments and some of those things, but just if you need a little bit more time, and you're just not sure which direction to go, give yourself enough time to meditate on that, and just kind of, feel that out and don't make any hasty decisions, okay? We're going to start by looking at love and see kind of where things are at with that and how things are, kind of get some advice here. All right, what do we need to release? You and your loved ones are safe, and nothing will come from the situation, which is an interesting card to come out. Not exactly my favorite card. And I hate to just dive into details when I'm not sure exactly what that is going to mean. I'm getting the feeling like for a lot of you, this is some kind of negative thought in your head that's really kind of cycling over and over, almost just like a fear, okay? And so for what do you need to release, I'm feeling like releasing the fear that nothing's going to come from this relationship is going to be your number one advocating action that you can take to get to the goal that you want. Okay, so counter manifesting, we got to remember that how important it is to make sure we're not doing that. You don't want to consider the lack. You don't want to consider the scarcity, the things that you don't have, the things that you continue to lack. You want to think about the things you do have and the things that are happening in your life that you do have plenty of, and you want to consider what it looks like to have more of all of those things and have abundance in the areas of what you want. So keep this out of your head unless there's a red flag or a true reason for which you need to consider that. And if it keeps coming back up in your head and in your mind and in your reality to the point where you have to pay attention to it, then maybe consider how this particular situation is not conducive to your ultimate goals and what truly is good for you. And maybe this is the time to really reflect and assess that. You could have other people coming up into your life that are exes or that are old people from your past, and it's not necessarily something that means, oh, jump on that, that's for you, that's what you should do. It's trying to tell you nothing's going to come from that, but just relate or, compare and contrast kind of, what you have that's good in your life and recognize that, as opposed to maybe what you had in the past that wasn't so good, and just do some reflecting and make some decisions accordingly, knowing those facts, okay? Suggested action to take when it comes to love. Joy. We've got you delight in the love, you delight in the love of life and bring spirit of fun to all that you do. And so you want to go with the energy that brings more of this, more joy to your life. You might have had to sacrifice some things. I'm seeing more like, very superficial things. But at the end of the day, it's the choice that brings you the most happiness and the most good out of out of comforts and the luxuries in life and the satisfaction at the end of the day, as opposed to other things that might seem, like a good thing, but might not be as important, okay? So just keep that in mind when it comes to your relationships this month. If you want to look at it a little bit further, you're always welcome to reach out and we can do an extended or take a look and see what else is going on. When it comes to health, adjustments are required. It's in the reverse. I'm not exactly sure. Believe in the impossible. So for those of you who feel like you're not where you want to be in your goals, this is a solid reminder to let you know that try to do more to make this a fun thing where you can kind of track it a little bit more, and where you can make this realistic and reasonable. So maybe you have like a tracking system, that you can track whatever, like your calorie intake, or how much exercising you're doing, or how much intake of this and this and that. A way to just kind of keep things moving forward. Maybe take pictures and keep track of, your progress as you're going along. Something that helps you feel like you can see the progression and see some results and have some measurements to go off of. I feel like health-wise, maybe there's some things that you can improve on, but it's just kind of hard to know where to start or how to even know when things are I don't know, like a frustration of not being able to see results. I keep seeing that. So that's kind of your present situation. The suggested action to take with regards to it is to remember that everybody has a different outcome and has a different, canvas that they're working with, okay? Not everybody's system works the same as other people's. And so finding out what works best for you is a really important piece to that. So that might be an indication of reaching out to one of those like geneticist thingy places where you can send your hair and they'll like tell you all of your deficiencies and tell you what you're allergic to. Or start with some of those facts that you can actually work with, rather than just trying to guess what it is. Because we see all this stuff all over the place that talks about here, do this, or here, don't do that. But at the end of the day, who's right, who's wrong? So let's just start with some facts. Get some clear indications of what your body style and what your body type needs, the best things you can do for you, and then just try to set a game plan. And start simple. Don't make it crazy and complicated. Just start kind of simple so that you can make it, a feasible plan. When it comes to wealth and your money here, let's see, luck is on your side. So that's good. That might be like a raise, or maybe just something kind of coming through financially, surrendering to the divine. So maybe you're wanting to step it up in certain areas, but you really don't know exactly how to do it or which way to go or even how to start something like that. Well, part of it is just making that plan and throwing it out into the universe and letting it come back. You obviously have some type of good energy going with that particular direction. So if you've got something that you've been wanting to pursue, I do feel like this is going to be important. Just keep in mind to make sure that it is conducive to, your true values before you pursue it. But another part of this is having that faith, and sometimes it's blind faith, just knowing the universe has your back, is a really important piece. So let's see. I do see something about, for some of you, maybe you're trying to make a big purchase and you're kind of waiting to see, what happens with it. I do feel like it's going to have a good outcome. And the more you have that positive energy going towards that idea, rather than any kind of fear, anxiety, or worry, or uncertainty, but more like, yes, this is going to happen. I can't wait. I'm excited. This is happening. That's going to be the best idea or the best mentality, energy that you can go at this. And if for some reason, whatever it is, doesn't happen the best way, or it doesn't happen with the results that you want, then just keep in mind that it's obviously because it's pushing you in a direction that's even better. And so just keep that optimism as you're pushing through these situations, okay? All right, I hope that helps. Keep me posted. Oh, shoot, you know what? I did want to pull, as far as health goes, third eye and the solar plexus. Yeah, and the solar plexus chakra. So, being very focused and keeping that intuitive clarity and making sure that you're, using that third eye and just kind of staying focused on that abundance that you want to bring into your life, and staying driven and dedicated to the plan. That is a huge piece of not just having a great idea or having a good game plan, but also implementing it and sticking to it, okay? So I hope that helps, and let me know if you want to look at your personal situation. And we're starting off the year with a super, super powerful and important type of new moon. It actually happened on the 2nd, and it's a really great time for a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff flowing in the mind, a lot of need for balance, a lot of need for grounding. So if you guys aren't doing, I'm going to shuffle while I talk here. If you guys aren't doing grounding, I would highly recommend doing, your 15 minutes of some type of meditation that you resonate to in the mornings. I can certainly put one in the box below just so that you can have, one if you don't have any in mind. But 15 minutes of an abundance meditation will not only get you grounded, but it'll get your head in the right space for the day. Even myself, I can't believe how many times I notice my teeth are grinding, or I just have so much energy, built up that I haven't called back. So, having a morning meditation just to kind of get your mind in the right space, and then in the evening, have another one. Even if it's 5 minutes, you guys, just to give yourself some space and some time to call back all the energy that you've dispersed throughout the day. Give yourself some time to really ground out that energy into those roots, into the ground, or whatever you resonate to, and get that white light energy going. White light energy from the top of your head, split it all the way down into a bubble around your body. Just giving yourself that moment to just kind of renew and refresh is about the best thing that you can do for yourself in any given day, especially if you are, out there all over the place talking to a lot of people. So that's where that was. So the new moon, it encourages us to think about old patterns and ways of structuring certain aspects of our lives. In 2021, we really continue to work on that, not devaluing ourselves, but really embracing our values. This particular new moon, typical new moons, you would want to initiate things, but this particular one, it encourages us to navigate this time more than initiate. So you're going to be thinking about how you're practicing your presence, how your awareness is, monitoring your emotions, and deciding really what stays or goes. That kind of pulls us into the full moon. So, we had a lot of things going on in 2021, and this particular full moon is reflecting, and this is going through the 17th is the full moon, just so you guys know, and it's in Cancer, so it can be a little finicky with the emotions, but it does reflect this month. It could bring up feelings and some emotional sensitivities. For others, it could be more irritability than anything. So if you're aware or you notice, your irritations or somebody else's, just pay more attention to maybe bringing a little bit of tenderness and some of that light touch to the situation, as opposed to, fighting the grain or bringing any kind of further intensity into the mix. If you're really aware, you'll notice that there's kind of an ambitious pull towards your purpose, towards power, towards deeper desires, towards goals that you've set. And you can also add some, just some of that gentleness to the load that you've got, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, okay? Excuse me, sorry. And then the Mercury retrograde. Sorry to be the bearer of that one. That one is taking place on the 14th of January. It is going to be in Capricorn and Aquarius, which is interesting. It kind of makes, I'm a little curious on this one. I'm actually a Capricorn and an Aqua cusp baby, so I'm kind of curious on how this one's going to go. I don't know if I should be scared or excited, to be honest with you. But this one is going to let us revise the story that ended in December. So if you've noticed, there's actually kind of a similarity of this, concept and these lessons and tools and things that we're being asked to do between all three of the new moon, the full moon, and the retrograde. So the story that ended in December, it's going to be an opportunity to continue to reflect on that. You're going to have, this opportunity to just kind of reassess, who and what you align with. And it is a slowdown. Remember, guys, it's a slowdown in communication, transportation, sometimes in technology. And so stay a step ahead if you can. If you are able to get things, checked out, or deal with things that maybe are some loose ends, as much as possible, just deal with known issues so they don't become bigger ones later. Again, a time to reframe. It's an opportunity to handle anything that you didn't really, maybe, if it wasn't taken care of, again, like loose ends, maybe just be sitting on the back burner. Maybe you just need to look at something as a second look, or maybe you need to edit, whatever's in the goal or whatever's in the plan. But the more open and the more optimistic you are to that, the more confident you're going to have going into 2022. And so I would highly recommend just giving yourself a moment to ask yourself, are you holding yourself back in any way, or are you opening up, to a whole new ball game, which is kind of the goal that you set. I hope that helps. I hope you have a fantastic month. I'm so happy to be back. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in a reading, or if you're interested in a Reiki healing, whatever I can do for you. I have all that information down below, and there's a little list right here as far as some of the things that I offer. So much love. I will talk to you next month. Bye, guys.